Welcome to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio, and I'm super excited to be here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. All right, because we're going to be talking about obesity. We're going to be talking about how fast food companies are in fact paying the price for obesity, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different other interesting things as well. So make sure you stay tuned because you're tuned in to Relax Radio, where it's all about the positivity. We make sure that there's no negativity, and we want to make sure that we give you the most accurate and most accurate information as soon as we can to make sure that you're always informed about the very latest and you always and to make sure that you're always updated. Okay, so that is what we are here for. All right, so if you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts and share your opinions, well, you can do that. All you need to do is just text me on 078 the number is there just on the banner that is there on the screen. So don't forget to do that because it's going to be absolutely amazing if we can share your thoughts and ideas with everyone else who's listening in as well. Okay, so don't forget to do that. However, before we head into the conversation, I want to very quickly remind you that you can in fact go follow our socials as well. Now, if you go like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, you can actually make sure that you're always informed about the very latest. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So, all you need to do is just click that video and you can watch it and make sure that you're always informed. All right. Now, our app is also available for download on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So, if you want to make sure that if you want to make sure that you know what is happening in the world and you want to contribute to that conversation as well, the best way for you to do that is by downloading our app, which is available for free on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All right. What that means is that, you're going to be able to what that means is that you're going to be able to listen in from anywhere in the world at any time of the day, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. Okay, so don't forget to get that. Now, however, we're going to head back into our topic, which is, or rather head into our topic, which is basically how fast food companies are finally paying the price for obesity. All right, and the reason we're going to be having this conversation, or the reason that I'm going to be sharing this conversation with you, obviously, is because obesity is one of the fastest growing problems here in the United Kingdom. All right. So because that is the case, I felt it very important that I come here and I sort of make you understand why it's one of the biggest problems. Right now, the government is actually poised to announce ban on junk food advertising online and before 9 p.m. on TV from 2023. Right now, I know 2023 is like what, almost 2 years away, but to be quite honest, if you actually think about it, 2022 is just 4 months away. All right, so it's pretty scary if you think about it. So because that's the case, it's obviously very important for you and I to understand why exactly this is going to happen. All right, now this is because Boris Johnson is looking to deliver on his pledge to tackle the UK's growing obesity crisis. Right, and the reason obviously he is doing that is because when he got sick with COVID-19, he sort of realized that one of the reasons it got really bad for him was because of obesity. So then, all his sort of he personally pledged that he will try to help the obesity crisis that the United Kingdom is currently going through. All right, and the reason it's such a big problem here in the United Kingdom obviously is because it's not just adults, but it's also young children who are a part of this, who are a part of obesity. There are so many young children that are being diagnosed as obese, and so many children that have had to change the way they eat. They've had to exercise and whatnot because of the obesity that is one of the biggest problems that is happening here in the United Kingdom. Right, so now these new measures that are going to be announced, or that were announced rather, are actually in an attempt to make sure that people don't really go and buy fast food. Right, because a lot of fast food is high in terms of fat, in terms of sugar, salt, and oil, and things like that, which are very unhealthy for you. And so, for example, if since fast food is so cheap as well, and it's very convenient, if you're constantly buying fast food and you're constantly consuming fast food, what that actually means is that things are going to get really bad. Right, which means you're constantly going to get sick, and you're constantly going to have to deal with a lot of you're constantly going to have to deal with a lot of, a lot of health problems as well, right? Now these steps that they're going to take will in fact be some of the toughest marketing restrictions in the world, and it will in fact heavily impact more than 600 million pounds that are spent by brands on food advertising online and TV annually as well. All right, because this 9 p.m. pre-watershed ban is actually going to ban advertising TV products that are deemed to be high in fat, sugar, and salt content, right? And this will actually cost a lot of TV broadcasters about 200 or a little bit more than 200 million pounds a year in revenue. Okay, so this would actually affect all forms of digital marketing, from ads on Facebook to paid search results on Google, and even things like text message promotions and paid activity on sites such as Instagram and Twitter. All right, so make sure you stay tuned to find out more about this, because we're going to head into a small break. And after that, we will be back to keep talking more about this. But obviously, until then, make sure you stay tuned.
And it gives them something to look at, and it makes them laugh. It makes them laugh. So that's why I do it.
Oh, and it could be a really good pickup line as well. Ladies who ask, "Hey, excuse me, so why are you wearing something so colorful?" I mean, hey, you can always have something up on your sleeve. I mean, got me thinking. You want to stand out. Why do you want to stand out though so much, especially with these kind of shirts when you're writing? There must be a purpose behind it, right?
Well, when you say a purpose, Nick, what I do, I wear the shirts mainly one because they're nice and bright, so they make me visible, especially if I'm riding on the road.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important, right? Because you want cars, yeah.
Very important. And also, like, people see me in like calves, and perhaps I shouldn't be saying this on air, I suppose, but in the bar afterwards.
All right.
And it gives them something to look at, and it makes them laugh. It makes them laugh. So that's why I do it.
Oh, and it could be a really good pickup line as well. Ladies who ask, "Hey, excuse me, so why are you wearing something so colorful?" I mean, hey, you can always have something up on your sleeve. I mean, you look like a guy who would do.
You know me too well. You know me too well, Nick.
Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio, and I'm super excited to be here because we're going to be having a very interesting, and we're already having a very important conversation with regard to obesity, and how obesity is in fact one of the biggest problems here in the United Kingdom. All right, so don't forget to text me on 07852473473 to share your thoughts, to share your opinions, because I would love to hear whatever it is that you have to say. All right, so don't forget to do that. Now, before we head into the conversation, I want to very quickly talk about Scotland and how Scotland is free at last. Now, the reason we're going to be talking about Scotland is because Scotland actually recently lifted not the travel restrictions, but rather their lockdown restrictions, right? Which basically means that a lot of these restaurants, nightclubs, venues that were closed down during the pandemic because of lockdown are now actually allowed to open, and they can actually, they can actually they can actually open and have a lot of tourists, or rather a lot of visitors, right? Not necessarily tourists, right? So what that basically means is that people can go to restaurants, people can go to nightclubs, people can go to all of these venues the same way that they used to, with minimal requirements, right? For example, the only thing they have to do is make sure that they wear their mask and they sanitize their hands. So in a way, it actually seems like a good bargain, because you can go to wherever you want to go, you can enjoy yourself, but you just have to do a few simple things, right? Like wearing your mask, which really shouldn't even be a big problem because we've been wearing our mask for a long time, right? So it shouldn't be something too hard because we're kind of used to it by now, right? And that is what is happening with Scotland, because Scotland is finally free with regard to lockdown being lifted. All right, so make sure you stay tuned, because we will tell you more about Scotland. We will make sure that you're more informed about Scotland, to so that you can be informed about the very latest news that is happening all over the world and in the United Kingdom as well. Okay, so now let's actually head back into our conversation. Now, in addition to banning all of these ads on TV, there will be multiple other things that will be done by the government to make sure that obesity is reduced as much as possible. All right, because the other measures that will be taken will be or will be buying, or rather ending the buy one get one free promotion. All right, but before we actually get into that, now in terms of all of the online advertising being banned, something that what that these companies can actually do is, as long as they advertise it on their pages, as long as they advertise it on their websites, that's completely fine, right? So they can actually advertise on they can actually advertise on their own websites and social media accounts, because that's their social media account, obviously, and you can't really ask them to not post anything with regard to that, right? Now, in terms of ending buy one get one free promotions, now new legislation will actually restrict the promotion of foods that are high in fat, sugar, and salt, right? Which are basically buy one get one free offers. Now, the reason that they're actually going on with this is that in the UK we actually spend more buying food products on promotion than any other European country, right? So basically we spend more money buying food on promotion than actually buying food that are healthy, right? Something, ingredients that you can use to cook a dish, right? And I think I understand why that happens, because actually if you think about it, right, a lot of these food items and whatnot, they're actually quite expensive, right? And that's just the truth. So when healthy food alternatives are expensive, then people will definitely opt for cheaper alternatives, like buy one get one free, or fast food. So in instances like this, the government then has a role to sort of encourage shops as well to provide discounts for vegetables, for fruits, and things like that, which is what they're doing as well. So they're going to be providing discounts for fruits, for vegetables, for healthier food, to make sure that we don't actually end up doing things or buying food that isn't actually good for us. All right, now something else that they're going to be doing is that they are also going to have calorie labeling, where these new laws will actually require large restaurants, cafes, and even takeaways with more than 250 employees to add calorie labels to the food they sell, right? Which I think is an absolutely amazing alternative, right? Now make sure you stay tuned, because right now we're going to head into a small break, and after that we will be back to keep talking more about this. But obviously until then, make sure you stay tuned.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday. And what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for?